Alright folks, so for today's video we are going to review the Radioddity FS-T2 FRS two-way radios. But before we do, why don't you go grab yourself a nice cold one, come on back, and we'll get started. Hopefully everybody made it back. Before we get started, I did want to say that I was contacted by Radioddity, and they asked if I would do a review of this particular product. And of course I said yes. I like playing around with radios and I like doing YouTube reviews. So they packed them up and sent them to me free of charge in exchange for this video review. As you can see, the box is a little bit mashed up, but I don't think that it left the factory that way. I believe this happened in transit, as the packaging itself was a little mashed up. Anyhow, let's take a quick look at the box. Here you can see the model number, the FCC ID number, and the frequency. We're going to open it up, we're going to take a look inside and see what it ships with. The first thing you see is a Radioddity manual. And this manual is pretty good from an English standpoint. It's easy to understand and it has some pretty good graphics in it. One thing that I will note is that in the manual it tells you that all of the programming can't be done via the radio and you will need to use computer software. And we're going to talk about that and we're going to cover that a little bit later. Here you can see the chapter on computer programming. Taking a look, it does come with two radios. Here is the FRS-T1 radio that I previously did a video on that I'll link below. It comes with a USB charging cable that actually is a Y cable, allowing you to charge both of the radios at the same time. Now I believe the output of this charger that we're going to take a look at is 500 milliamps. The batteries on these are small, so they charge relatively quickly, but you might be able to juice that up, I don't know. Here you can see the specifications on the adapter. Okay, next we're going to take a quick look at some of the other things that ship in the box. Starting with a set of earphones, or a single earphone with a mic that you can use for Vox or has a PTT button. I typically don't use those earphones. They also come with two lanyards that you can attach to the radios and two metal pocket clips. In order to install those pocket clips, you will need to remove a screw from the back of the radio. Here we go, taking a look at the radio, you can see it has a pretty simple interface, and we'll put a diagram up that shows all of the various buttons and what they're used for. But it is quite limited compared to the other radio that I was showing earlier, the FS-T1. Here it has a compartment that you can open up and you can plug in your earphone jack there. The antenna is permanently fixed to the radio. It has a USB port on the back for charging with an LED light. The LED light will glow red when charging. It will turn green when completed. Here underneath the battery you can see the size and the voltage of the battery, as well as some information about the radio itself. Here I'm just going to plug in the charging cable so you can see the lights light up, and here they look a little bit orange, but in real life, without the magic of the internet, they are more red. So quickly I wanted to take a look at Radioddity's website, and here's where you can come to get more information on these radios. And what I wanted to show here was that you can pick these up for $29.99 plus shipping. Radioddity often has sales and coupon codes that you can use to combine for discounts on your purchase. Coming down here you can see some more detail around the specifications, but I wanted to take a quick look at the package contents. And one of the things that I'll notice down here is that the package contents do not list a programming cable. In the instruction manual that I'll show later, it says that you need a programming cable in order to program some of the features of this radio. Here you can see it says the same thing, and that you can pick up the programming cable from Radioddity's website. Now I did look around pretty good on this website and I could not find a programming cable. We're going to try just using a regular USB cable plugged into the power port and see if that works. Also under support you can find a section for Radioddity radios, and then there you can pick a particular radios, and sometimes they have manuals and software. So here you can see you can download the software. It runs on Windows, and you can download an electronic copy of the manual. So taking a quick look at the diagram, you can see that we have an antenna. We have an indicator that turns green upon receipt and red on TX. The earpiece jack that we spoke about, the power on-off button, and it also runs the menu, the microphone, and the speaker. On the back you have the micro USB port. On the side you have a monitor, NOAA or weather button, a scan lock button, and PTT. And we're going to take a look at how all these features work. These are what I would consider to be the key features of the radio. It has 22 FRS channels. It has a power setting of 2 and 0.5 watts that can only be set via the software. You can pick up weather stations. You can use CTCSS or DCS tones. It has a squelch control, but in order to use that, you need to connect it to a computer. Battery indicator, USB charging. It's Vox capable, and it has a 1500 milliamp battery that operates at 3.7 volts. So here you can see the radios, and we're going to pick them up and we're going to take a look at how these things function. You long press the power button for the radio to power up. And I'm going to do my best to zoom in on the screen here to make it easy for you to see, but it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. I'm also looking through a camera. A short press of the power menu button will take you into the menu. The first thing you can do is you can change the channels by using the up and down arrows. On the side, pressing the scan button will take you into a scan. Pressing the button a second time will stop the scan, or you can stop via PTT. Also, a long press of the scan button will lock your radio. Here you can see a key underneath the 4 and demonstrating that the radio is locked. Again, a long press will unlock your radio. A long press on the M button will fully open your squelch, allowing you to monitor your radio frequencies. The up and the down buttons will adjust your volume when not in menu mode. Again, a short press will take you to menu mode. 2 presses will take you to your CTCS and DCS settings. You have to scroll through these one at a time. You can't just enter directly. You can see underneath the 0 there is a CT, and then go in the other direction at the bottom you should be able to see the DCS. That's just a number that you have to reference for the specific code in the instruction manual. 3 presses will take you into Vox mode, and then when enabled, you can set your Vox setting by using the arrows. You have a tone that you can toggle on and off, and that tone makes a sound when you press a button, and you can do the same thing with a Roger beep. The next setting takes you into the weather channels, and you have to cycle through these, I believe it's 8 channels to find one that works for your area. And that way you have weather mode enabled, so if you push the button on the side that takes you to NOAA, you can hear it here. Now, I didn't get very good reception on any of the NOAA channels. I suspect it's something to do with the antenna.
Just a quick audio test to see how the radio sounds. Quick audio test.
So here's the download of the CPS or programming software. When you open it up, you can see it's a single file, which is an installation file. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to extract this to a folder where I can run the file. Once this is done, I go to that folder and then I double click on the file to run. Windows is going to pop up a warning message. I also want to mention that I have plugged in the USB cable and the radio to the computer, and I'm not seeing anything in my device manager under different COM ports. And that is a little bit of a red flag. So anyhow, double clicking on this file will go ahead and kick off the installation routine. And even though I get this warning, I'm going to say yes and install the software. I pick all the default settings and just install it to its normal location. I am going to click the button to launch the application once installation is complete. And we're done. Here the application opens up. Once it's open, I can see that there is a data table where I can enter in frequency information. I'm going to attempt to read from my radio, and I'm going to set the port. The only port that is available is COM1, and I know that's not going to work, but I try it anyway, and nothing happens. I get a failure error. I got the same error message when trying to read or write to the radio. What I want to do now is I want to take a look into the installation folder, not the folder where I unzip the file, and I want to see if there's any kinds of documentation in there that might help me out. Tell me about the cable that I need, or maybe I'm doing something wrong. I tried a variety of key press options along with the power button when turning the radio on, and none of it worked. Here you can see in the installation folder, there is no documentation, and that's rather unfortunate. It kind of makes some of this radio functionality useless. So for example, I can't mess with my squelch settings, and I can't set my timeout timer. That's probably not such a big deal, but I would like the option to be able to set the power between high and low on my radio, and I can't do that. So what I liked about these radios is that they are USB charge capable. That's a big deal to me, and I wish more handheld radios had that feature. I like that you can get the weather channels, NOAA, but they didn't come in very well for me. So like I said, I don't know if that was the radio or my location or anything like that. Also, they're small and lightweight, and that's nice because it can fit easily into a pocket or a backpack. They're easy to carry. Now let's talk a little bit about some opportunities for improvement, and really the biggest one is the programming software. I don't know how to program the radios. I don't know what cable I need. I don't know if the radio needs to boot into a certain mode. And to me, that's rather unfortunate. Like I said, some of the settings I think I can live with, but I would like to adjust squelch from time to time, but more importantly, the power. The other thing is that when you set your tones, your CTS, DC, SS, which I don't really use that often, I have to carry around a piece of paper that tells me what those tones are, possibly if I'm intercommunicating with other FRS radios. So would I recommend these radios? I think I'm going to say no. I'd rather spend the extra $10 and I would get the T1s, not the T2s. And again, I'll link my video. Those radios had some issues as well, and I'll link my review of those, and you can check that out. But at the end of the day, I just feel that you could probably get a little bit of a better radio for a little bit more money, and I think I would pass on the T2s. I do want to thank Radioddity for sending these radios for test and evaluation and review purposes. I really appreciate that. And I also appreciate everybody for watching. If you have any questions, go ahead and post them below and I'll do my best to answer. If you like this video, click the thumbs up, share, or possibly even subscribe. I really appreciate everybody watching. Thanks.